Ahead on Early Birds. The NFC South's best rivalry is back at it.
Touchdown Atlanta!
We'll break down the game and go one-on-one with a big man who knows the Bayou better than anyone. Plus, it's Georgia and Alabama tonight in an early season game of the year. We'll get you ready. And we're reeling in a big one before the big game. Might be hate week for the Falcons and Saints, but we love that you're here with us on Early Birds.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin, and Shock. When I say New Orleans Saints, first thing that comes to your mind is?
Brown paper bags. How about that? That tells you everything you need to know about this week.
Maybe the Falcons will make their fans want to bring those back out after Rivalry Week gets back underway. Let's break things down on the opening drive. Shock, Falcons and Saints tomorrow at 1 here on Fox 5. So first 2 weeks of the season, the Saints were unstoppable. They averaged 45.5 points per game. Last week against the Eagles, they couldn't find the end zone. So give me the scouting report. Who are these guys?
Yeah, this is an explosive offense. I know last week is tough. Hey, the Eagles are a really good defense. We know that. We saw them. But they got playmakers all over the field. You know, talking about receivers who can stretch the field. He's averaging 24 yards, per reception. You see Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. I mean, they got dudes all over the place. And Kari's a gunslinger. They can throw it all over the yard. This will be an offense you have to make sure you keep the top on it because guess what? These guys can absolutely light the scoreboard as we saw in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've got playmakers and they've got the Falcons' attention.
Derek Carr, when clean and everything is going right, he is an absolute stud in this league. You know, you got to affect the passer, and that goes for everybody. But if you can find a way to affect him, I have some very highly competitive battles versus Derek Carr throughout the years, whether he's been in Oakland, wherever he's been. Now a Saint, last year versus him, when we jumped ahead and he came roaring back. And so we got to find ways to affect Derek Carr, and he's playing very well.
Certainly have to do that, and as we continue on the opening drive, another must is figuring out third down. Falcons offense 6 for 27 Shock on third down so far this year. Two questions. One, why? And number two, what do you do now?
Well, I think the answer is all encompassing in one. It's what are you doing on first and second down? I think they've struggled so much on first down, not getting positive yards. And the other part about it is they've hurt themselves. You get a good play on first down, and here comes a holding penalty. Here comes a illegal procedure. Here comes a false start. Something that sets you back, and now you're in first and 15. Those are the things that have hurt you, especially in the first couple of ball games. You have to try and be better on first and second down, and then third down comes along. Here's Coach talking about third down and how we got to be better.
Let's get in third and shorter distances, first of all, and then when we have like a 3rd and 1, let's try to, it kind of takes on a different framework than when you're in 3rd and 6. You might be in the shotgun and dropping back, but trying to get the short yardage, trying to get those more medium ranges as opposed to being in 3rd and 10 plus too often.
And as we wrap up the opening drive, Saints this week, DJ, then the Bucks, then the Panthers. It's 3 straight division games, and this is just a huge stretch.
No doubt about it. And I think because you had those tough first 3 ball games, you're set and ready to go for this stretch. And the season really starts now because if you win inside your division, you got a chance for some postseason football. So I think this starts a good week away. You got the Saints. You don't want to beat them, but hey, Carolina had a good week last week, and the Bucks, they went down a peg. So this is a crucial 3-week stretch of you got to play your best football.
Absolutely. Well, welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder, and Shock, the Falcons will also have the interior of their offensive line tested a little bit. We know for sure Drew Dahlman, the center, he's out for several weeks, so they're going to have to look to their depth against the tough Saints interior.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Guys got to step up. Coach Ross said earlier this week, all these guys on this roster for a reason. It's a reason why they are here. The reason why when they step in, we expect the same production. So why should we expect anything less but for those guys to fill that void?
They'll get the test on Sunday against the Saints. Well, Shock, if some people don't like you telling it how it is, I'd just say you speak the truth.
No doubt.
That's foreign language to y'all.
Yeah, that's what I do.
New Orleans' is own. We got to give a little respect to Lil Wayne, even in Saints
Weezy
week.
all day. I like that. That was a good one right there. I like Weezy. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Shock, go warm up the telestrator. We'll see you in a few. But first, the Saints offense was marching all over the place in weeks 1 and 2, but then the parade stalled last week. Atlanta's defense looks to keep the parade in park. Big man David Onyemata is a big part of that effort, anchoring the unit that will look to slow down the run and get after Derek Carr. Our Kelly Price talked one-on-one with Onyemata this week.
the ultimate goal is to prevent touchdowns, which you guys have done quite a bit. You've only allowed 4 through these first 3 games against some, obviously pretty great opponents. How proud are you guys of that aspect of your game, maybe bending and not breaking in certain ways?
Regardless of how you think about it, you can always, be a little better, but by the end of the day, it's taking those plays and going and looking at them again and seeing what we could have done better, But at the end of the day, it's done. So we kind of just move forward from there.
Obviously, going into division play, no better way to start that than with the Saints. You've been on both sides of this. What does this rivalry kind of mean to you to play in?
It's big. You can tell both fan bases. They take pride in the games, and you kind of see things on the internet, after the game or before the game, and how they go about it. But it's really huge. It being a divisional game as well, Divisional games, they say divisional games are worth, 2 points, but, at the end of the day, it's just, go out there, execute.
What's the importance for you guys of stopping the run? Obviously, a guy like Alvin Kamara, we all know what he can do.
It's going to be huge. We have to come out there, play fundamentally sound, execute the calls, to perfection, and, dominate the run game at the end of the day.
When you look at their film from their last game, that was a really physical matchup they had against the Eagles. Is that something you guys look forward to? Like, hey, it's our turn to get that physical.
Yeah, that's meant to be your mentality when you play defense. You attack, you go at the offense, and I guess attack them.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room, so cut the lights and let's get started.
Now, the Falcons have done a great job of trying to use Bijan Robinson in a lot of different ways. And on the touchdown play to Drake London, he did such a great job of showing his hands, but also pulling it back and giving his offense a chance to make some plays. Let's bring up this touchdown play here. Now, this is a usual play that the Falcons run. A lot of teams run it a lot of times. Now, what happens here is usually what happens, Bijan comes up here and he comes back and then he gets the football, and now you got Drake out here blocking. Now, it's designed for that. Now, the Chiefs know they want to get him the football in space. So guess what? All eyes are going to be on Bijan. You can have one, you have 2 guys, and this third guy, that middle linebacker, all eyes are going to go to Bijan when he catches this football, or attempts to catch this football, I should say. Now, watch this play as it unfolds here. You can see Drake is in the slot. Now, usually Drake comes out. They play it perfectly. It's exactly how it's supposed to look when they come out. He comes out, he blocks here, and this is what you call the guy who has to have contain and keep leverage in case Bijan catches it and comes back inside. Drake sells it really well, and look at all the eyes of the defenders now. Watch as this ball's about to come out. Look at all the eyes. Look at 1, 2, 3 eyes are all on Bijan because he's such a dynamic player in space. Everybody tries to go after him. You got 3 guys in space, and Drake, you can see him at the bottom of your screen here, is the one that escapes out down this way. Now, as I finish it up, watch what happens. Easy touchdown, probably the easiest one Drake and Kirk Cousins will ever have. We're going to watch it one more time from the back end, which is so special to watch. Drake at the top, come out, and you talk about coming across, and here's a nice job of selling it. And the best thing Bijan can do is give hands. That right there tells me I'm getting the football. 1, 2, guy coming from the inside, they think they got it. Now he's already beat. He doesn't even look at Drake, and now it ultimately ends up in a big time play for the Falcons. The Falcons need plays like this to create space and also explosive plays down the field. And Justin, guess what? I expect to see more of this on Sunday against the Saints.
Yeah, a little bit of acting from Bijan goes a long way on that one. Great stuff, Shock. Well, we got a huge college football day ahead, including the big one, Georgia and Alabama. Michael Jenkins and DJ will tell you what to watch and who's got the edge. Plus,
foot movement and just being able to move well, that can definitely keep the holder from stopping. But it's part of the game, man.
well, they say you could call holding on every single play, but you can't hold Grady Jarrett back. He explains how to break free and going deep.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And the Home Depot. How doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds. It's not Saturday down south without talking college football. Brought to you by Zaxby's. Famous fingers and sauces. Here's Shock.
Welcome on back. My guy Michael Jenkins has stepped on the scene with me to talk a little college football. Jake, how we doing?
Good, I'm good.
Ready for some good football.
Yeah,
All right.
good ones today.
Yeah. As we get deep into the season, Jake, these games become more and more important. Today is a big day for two schools. I'm talking Dogs and Bama. We're finna jump right into it. Let's talk Bama first. All starts with Milroe, right? I mean, give your assessment of him and this offense and what it'll take for them to be successful against that Georgia defense.
He's definitely progressed. Obviously, we've seen it last year. He even got benched that USF game last year, and then they struggled with USF again this year. But then they go to Wisconsin and just put a whooping on those guys on the Big Ten. Yeah, they did. And then, obviously they have him and then this freshman, Ryan Williams, who only has 10 catches, but averaging 28 yards a catch with 4 touchdowns on 10 catches.
And he's 17. Come on.
17. So, they're rolling out a good clip right now.
What do you got to do to win? What do you think?
He has to protect the football, and they're running the ball extremely well, over 200 yards rushing a game. So, if they keep that going, I mean, that's a good, you add that with the downfield shots that we're seeing, that's a good recipe for them right there.
Well, here's Bama head coach Kellen DeBoer on this game being a 60-minute fight.
Understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows of the game, that it's going to be, the physicality isn't just going to be here and there. It's every single play. So you got to be on your game, on your A game, the entire start to finish.
All right, Jake, let's flip it to the other side for the UGA. Which phase of the game, in your opinion, let's say which player, which phase of the game has to play their best to win and why?
Hold on, how do you feel? Your Dogs now.
I feel good.
Okay.
Good.
All three phases. Obviously, Carson Beck is, he's a solidified starter in college football. He knows how to win. His only loss is unfortunately to Bama.
Right.
But he gets the ball out of his hands very efficiently, gets the ball to his playmakers. So they have to be solid on offense. Defense, obviously, they haven't given up a touchdown all season.
Yeah, crazy.
So that defense is extremely playing well. And then special teams, just do your job. You don't want to have those incidents on special teams, a drop punt here, muff punt, things like that.
Right.
So all three phases have to be at their best on the road in the SEC.
All right, here's Kirby Smart talking about why his team feels good about playing on the road.
It's you against them, and you got to block them out, and it comes back to you. If you take the them out of you against them, it's you, and you got to focus. And our guys, they enjoy these environments. They embrace the hard of being in these environments. It's an athlete. Anytime your back's against the wall and you feel like you're against everybody, you want to come out with your best.
All right, Jake, who wins, Dogs or Bama?
I'm going Dogs.
Okay, Dogs. I like that. All right, guys.
Right next to me.
All right, let's talk Texas. Quinn Ewers goes down. We saw Arch Manning step in and play well at times. But my question for you, Jake, is Texas better with Ewers or Manning at quarterback?
Man, they got a good problem to have. They got two really good quarterbacks there in Texas. And so you got Manning in the back of your jersey. You're a really good quarterback. Ewers has performed exceptionally well and deserves, I think, to be the starter, kind of the vet. Manning's time is still coming.
For sure.
And Ewers has a chance to take his team for a chance to win a national championship and a potential Heisman. So I say you got to go with Quinn if he's healthy.
All right, I got you. All right, one more thing, Jake. We saw UNLV QB Matthew Schluka leave his undefeated team because of an NIL dispute of unfulfilled promises of about $100K. He thinks he'd owe. Your thoughts on that decision of him not to play?
This thing is a mess, for one. The offensive coordinator promised some money. The head coach said he didn't know about it.
Yeah.
There's kind of no accountability and fact checking of where the money is supposed to come from.
Right.
So it's unfortunate they're 3-0. They're ranked now 23rd in the country, and then your starting quarterback and now your starting running back decide to sit out because of money. So
come on, man, can't be about the money, man. It's for your boys, man.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, appreciate all the insight, man. Look forward to talking some Ohio State soon.
Soon.
All right. Justin, Gators got the win last week. Is the tide finally turning for your Gators?
It's the bye week for the Gators, so I think I'm going to enjoy this one stress-free. Guys, thank you very much. Well, each week here on Early Birds, we have a Falcons player explain how they do what they do in a segment we call Going Deep. It sometimes takes 2, maybe even 3 offensive linemen to slow down Grady Jarrett. So you'll understand if they do everything they can up to and sometimes including a holding penalty to try and slow down number 97. It's Grady's job, if the flag isn't thrown, to break free. He explains in Going Deep.
You're not going to prevent holding. It's part of the game. When it's egregious, when it's caught, sometimes. It's basically down to hand usage, man. When you want to keep extension from the offensive lineman on the body, when they can get on you, they can sneakily grab you sometimes, and just getting down to hand usage, foot movement, and just being able to move well, that can definitely keep the holder from stopping. But it's part of the game, man. It's part of the game, and then that's what coach talked to us about extensions, because when they get outside, then they can see it more, Essentially, if they do have you under and they grabbing them, it's really not holding. You just gotta, fight the fight, do what you gotta do, and get up out of there.
That's all you can do. Great stuff from Grady. More to come on Early Birds. A question fans and players really want to know: whenever there's an injury, how long until they're back? The Falcons team doctor explains next.
Going Deep is brought to you by Zaxby's, famous fingers and sauces. We're getting your Saturday started right. Early Birds is back in a moment.
Welcome back to Early Birds. Well, the most important thing with any injury in the NFL is making sure the player gets better. However, fans and players, and probably coaches a little bit too, all spend at least a little time wondering, how long will that process take? There are a ton of variables that go into that question, and that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
Yeah, recovery timelines with any major injury, major surgery is always variable, because sometimes there's genetics involved that we don't know. We got to see, especially the first time an athlete maybe has ever had a surgery. We don't know what their genetics are like, how their healing's going to go. We know they're going to work hard. We know they're going to have state-of-the-art care in the recovery process, but we really have to be careful about putting a timeline on it until we see how things are going through the recovery process. So as we get to those points where we can start pushing the athlete safely more, then we generally get a better idea on how they're doing, because we can start to measure some of their metrics, right? How fast are they running? How strong are they, pushing off on a force plate? How high are they jumping? And then we listen to them, most importantly. They tell us, they give us feedback on where they feel like they are. But even then, we know they're getting to that point and being recovered safely to return to the football field. We know that we need to keep having maintenance thereafter, because they're still going to get better. And so the recovery process is longer than anybody wants it to be. But as long as we get to that point in time where they've passed all their metrics safely, kind of past our skills, things that we put them through, things that they tell us, then we know we can kind of push it into game time.
Man, I've been on the other side of that question for sure. More Early Birds coming up. We hit the lake with the Falcons for a good cause. That's coming up after the break.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I definitely come from a family that has military service members, veterans on both sides. We want them to know as a Falcons that, we're here to support them.
Yeah, Liam McCullough, one of the Falcons, out there for the annual Fishing with the Falcons event this week on Lake Lanier. It was the team with legends, current players, along with veterans from Team Rubicon and the Warrior Alliance. They do this every year, Shock, and it looks like a great time.
Always a great event. A lot of guys love to be a part of it. They have to turn guys down because they want to be there, but just cool to see those guys out there enjoying it with the veterans.
Yeah, they do so much with our members of the armed forces and veterans. Good to see that out there. And be sure to join us for what should be a great show tomorrow night. The Dirty Bird Report, wrapping up the Falcons and Saints game. That is tomorrow evening, 11:30 p.m. Make sure to join us, wrapping up the Falcons' first game in the NFC South. And speaking of that division opener, Shock, give us one more matchup to watch tomorrow.
Nowhere Tyrann Mathieu. The Honey Badger is a guy who loves to get the football. He's a guy that takes it away all the time. Can't allow him to be a menace to us, especially on the offensive side. Find out where he is, Kirk, and make sure you go away from him.
Yeah, go the other direction. Let me give you one more. Keep up that energy. How great was the Chiefs game? The atmosphere was fun. Let's bring it again. There will be a lot of Saints fans. It is what it is. Yeah. It should be a lot of fun. All right, we had a lot of fun this morning. Thank you for joining us. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. Have a good morning and a great rest of your weekend.